Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome back to Let's Play Mega Man X4 as Mega Man X Part 4. This time we're going to go against Split Mushroom. Of course, you know those Goombas from Mario have been quite disgruntled over the fact they constantly get stomped on, so they've decided to switch franchises and build their own robot and have him be in Mega Man X. And they also made him a laboratory expert too, because, you know, mushrooms are totally things you find in laboratories, right? This effect is pretty cool. It's like a spirally staircase, and you can actually walk in. It's like you're walking up a staircase, a cool spot. It's actually a pretty cool effect, especially to put in a 2D game. Correction, that would be a cool effect if this was in an SNES game, but it's a PlayStation game made in 1997. PlayStation was the master at this, so, you know, it's not really saying an awful lot. It's PlayStation, it's a better system. Of course it's gonna be, you know, better than the SNES. And there's still some awesome music, as I said before. This game soundtrack is, you know, like some of the best in the series. I think Mega Man X4 is my third favorite soundtrack in the series. My favorite soundtrack in the series is Mega Man X6. Even though it's my least favorite game in the series, I actually think it has the best musical score in the series. And then I also like the soundtrack to the first Mega Man X. That soundtrack is pretty epic too. And so you see here, we're pretty much playing Wrecking Crew at this point. We have to climb up these ladder things. Wrecking Crew is another Mario game. Mario was in prior to the original Super Mario Bros. No one ever seems to talk about Wrecking Crew that much. I don't actually have a ROM of that game somewhere. I should make a video of me playing Wrecking Crew sometime. That would be fun if I could, you know, play that. I was considering remaking some of my old videos too, like where I played Donkey Kong and stuff like that. And so here I think we're going to come across some sort of mini-boss or some sort of, like, you know, large gauntlet of flowers, evil killer flowers. It's something Poison Ivy from Batman would start up. And this game came out in the same year Batman and Robin. It's another 1997 thing. Batman and Robin came out in this very same year. And also the other good thing too is you don't have to have a full health tank in this game for health to get added to your sub-tank. You actually add some of it to your health and some of it to your sub-tank in this game. So you don't have to have completely full health in this game like you had to in the SNES Mega Man X games. You could argue what the first Mega Man X game on PlayStation was. You could argue Mega Man X3 was the first Mega Man X game on PlayStation, because that game actually came out before this, and it was originally an SNES game, but in the year after it came out, it got a port on the PlayStation. So, you know, is that the first PlayStation? Well, the first Mega Man X game made, you know, as a PlayStation game or Sega Saturn game for the time would be this one, because this one wasn't made as an SNES game. And now here's the mini-boss, so we're nowhere near the halfway point of the stage. This is where that weapon, where Jet Stingray's weapon really comes in handy for this guy. You get to spam it a bunch of times. Look at that, we murdered him right there. We took out a large chunk of his health right there. Take on this bug thing. All the enemies in this level are bug themed, kind of like in, you know, some of those old Namco games like Galaxian, where you fight enemies that look like bugs, or even in Atari's Millipede or Centipede, where you take on bug enemies. You know, those bugs, they always like to bug you if they're bug enemies. That's how bugs are in these games. And nothing's kind of like that boss from the first Sonic game, you know, the Spring Yard Zone, where he destroys the platforms, destroys the level kind of thing. Yeah, I remember ripping my hair out with that level a lot of the time too. That's how I started to end up with hair loss problems. So again, we're going to another spirally staircase. Again, here there's those spinning pointy things, I don't know what they're called, and then there's other things that keep shooting down at us, these little robot things, so I should give those a taste in my mind. And there's one of those shield things we first saw in Mega Man 4, and then those things with the shields. You probably could destroy the shields with those things if you have some kind of weapon, but I don't think it's possible to do that in this game. So we're going to the teleporter now. We're going to go and teleport somewhere else in this stage. Oh, look at that, it's a heart tank. This is really tricky again. I don't really get, oh, wow, I got it. I don't usually get that on my first try, but whoa, I did that. So far I've pretty much gotten every heart tank in the game so far, or most of them that we come across. These things are going to make the floors fall apart, these drilly things. Again, more stuff from like Sonic the Hedgehog 3. There actually is a lot of Sonic and like Sonic-like stuff in these games. So you see the flowers are going to be sticking out, and they're going to shoot stuff at you, and you have to shoot them first. I'm constantly, I think I'm going to get carpal tunnel someday from constantly charging these charge shots. I get carpal tunnel whenever I play 1941, Capcom's 1941. You have to constantly spam the fire button, unless you use a turbo controller, which I actually did that once, played a game for turbo controller. You constantly have to spam the fire button if you want to do like a rapid fire machine gun at your enemies in that game, and that's how I end up with sore thumbs. And that's where the term sticks out like a sore thumb comes from. People often use that term to describe a lot of games like this. I guess they have the right to say that, you know, it's a sore thumb, you know, sticks out like a sore thumb. So see, you destroyed those flower things, those plant things, and I think oh, look at that, we're already at the boss already. Man, time sure is fly when you have fun. So you see here, we're gonna fight Split Mushroom, another pansy. Pretty much every boss in this game is a pansy if you use their weakness. So you see he spins around, he's called Split Mushroom. If you fight him at 0, you unlock a cool move at 0, where he pretty much becomes a Jedi, where you could, like in the Super Star Wars games, where he could jump around and use those cool force moves where he jumps and swings his lightsaber. You see people in the prequels do that all the time. This game was made before the prequels, so what do you say? So Web Spider's weapon is his weakness, his Split Mushroom's weakness. And he often fires a lot of clones at you, but those clones of his are never going to see the light of day because as long as I have Web Spider's weapon. And you see here, we're pretty much owning him. You see the symbol on him is different. He doesn't have the Replicor symbol on him. Instead, he has Sigma's symbol under his health bar. That's because he works directly for Sigma, you know, the main villain we saw at the beginning, that Grim Reaper villain. It makes sense he'd be the Grim Reaper, considering the fact he's been killed so many times, and yet he somehow always manages to come back and, you know, and cause more trouble to Mega Man X and all of his friends. So there, Split Mushroom is history. We won't see him again until the last level. Oops, I kind of spoiled something, but it's kind of a tradition too that in the last level of these games, we always have to fight all the Mavericks again in the boss gauntlet. A lot of people don't like the boss gauntlets, but it's kind of a Mega Man tradition that they all have boss gauntlets. Soul Body. We're going to be needing this for the next level to take on, especially because for the racing part, because there's going to be some racing. It's kind of like a 2D version of Rayman Arena, where you have to race and jump over things, and jump past obstacles, or run past things, or fight enemies, things like that. We're going to be doing that in the next level. It's like a race kind of thing, where you have to race to the end. And if you get there in record timing, you get stuff. You get like a heart tank, a sub tank, you even get a Dr. Light capsule. So now we're going to take on Cyber Peacock. Cyber Peacock is my favorite theme music in the game. I absolutely love its music. I mean, the music in this game is pretty awesome. And a lot of the music in this game even reminds me of, like, you know, the 90s, you know, the late 90s, where all those old PCs were. I remember back when Windows 95 and Windows 98 were still commonly used, and then there'd be like and they'd get the blue screen of death a lot, and I'd be playing games on them that have music that sounds like this. And, you know, there's still a lot of old PC games that I used to play back in those days. I never got to work again anymore. I actually have a disc. I actually have a lot of discs filled with games from back in those days, and I upload all of them to archive.org, and you can find me on archive.org as Ray Phoenix, and I labeled the discs as Ray 1, Ray 2, Ray 3. If you have an old computer, if you're able to play some old PC games, and you have and your computer has the ability to read ISO images, yes, I recommend downloading those and playing some old nostalgic games. Or at least they're nostalgic to me. I don't know if they're nostalgic to everyone else, of course, because you know nostalgia is a very personal thing. It could be sentimental to one person, could be, you know, just trash to someone else. I get that all the time. A friend of mine really didn't like Q-Basic Gorillas, and Q-Basic Gorillas was the first PC game I ever played. I actually played that on the first computer I ever used. It was a Windows 3.1 laptop that my dad built. Well, he didn't actually build it. It was originally two computers that didn't work, but he combined them together and he made them work again, and it ran Windows 3.1 pretty well. The screen was monochrome, but I didn't care at the time. I didn't even know there was such thing as color computer screens back then. The first screens I always saw were monochrome, so I got the idea, oh, monochrome. PCs, computers have monochrome screens. Yeah, they probably did once upon a time back in the 80s or so, and at this point in time, it was the late 90s, so, you know, it's that kind of thing on my part. I actually made a video of me playing Q-Basic Gorillas about 2 years ago. This doesn't seem the same anymore, because now when I play Q-Basic Gorillas, it's in full color, and, you know, it doesn't have that cool monochrome look I remembered it having. So here's Dr. Light again. We ran to the good old Dr. Light, and he's gonna give us a new upgrade. It's gonna be the head upgrade, I believe. I believe this is the one that makes all your weapons infinite, I think, so you can use your weapons an infinite amount of time. I don't know if that might be it. Unless you charge them or something, but we can't charge the weapons. Yeah, we don't have that. So yeah, we have the helmet upgrade. We're actually wearing some sporty looking helmet. Looks like it could be in some sort of Greek tragedy or Greek mythology thing or something. Like some sort of ancient, not as like so much ancient. It's like a modern version of ancient Greece. There probably will be another ancient Greece again. People say ancient Greece is one of the greatest civilizations that ever existed. And it eventually ended. And who knows, maybe our civilization's probably gonna end someday and become something like Mega Man X, where it'll be run by robots and Reploids and all sorts of crap like that. And we pretty much have to play like some Marble Madness or something. Not really Marble Madness, but you have to hit the buttons. You have to have those ball things fall through the floors. And now I think this is, yep, the level. Believe it or not, the level's over now. This is Cyber Peacock. We're going to take on Cyber Peacock, because this is where the Mavericks start to really fight him. Maybe, I think at this point, Cyber Peacock probably knows I defeated a lot of his friends, so now he's not going to play, you know, he's not going to play Mr. Nice Guy on us anymore. He's gonna actually go, you know, pretty super cyan on us, like that Melanie Duchesne that broke the window at McDonald's, or some of those other people I see the times that monkeys escape from the zoo and they go to McDonald's and cause trouble, and they destroy the machines there, and they destroy everything there, and then they cause the McDonald's to be dysfunctional. Yeah, I've seen countless videos about that. McDonald's is a frickin' jungle a lot of the time. They see, Cyber Peacock doesn't play fair, so we're not gonna play fair either. We're gonna use Cyber Peacock's weakness and, you know, take him out, as we see we're doing right now. Look at that, huh? And look at that, Cyber Peacock also works for Sigma too. You see he gets Sigma's logo, the Sigma on him. Sigma's also one of the few Greek, well, it's actually one of many Greek letters actually I know. If you like Greek letters I know of are Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Omega, Sigma, Tau, Mu, Phi, Theta, Eta, Epsilon, yeah, those are pretty much all the Greek letters. Iota, did I say iota yet? I don't know. I don't give an iota about Greek letters. and yeah, they're still commonly used in our pop culture, in our modern day society. It's kind of funny how things that are so ancient still get used today. And so, that's pretty much the end of this video. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.